Good morning, I'm Maddie Jansen, and this is the podcast of 17 News at Sunrise. It's everything you need to know to start your day in about 15 minutes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Right now at 5, 2 years have passed since the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. This morning we're remembering all of the victims, including several from Bakersfield. We'll take you live to Las Vegas coming up.
State lawmakers weigh in on allegations Kern County fair officials mismanaged state funds. And while we still haven't heard from those fair officials, we have a statement dated days before that audit was released.
A Bakersfield native is making a name for himself in the smash Broadway hit Hamilton, and he got his start on the stages at West High. 17's Tabitha Mills sits down with the rising star. This is Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. Here we are. It's October already. Good morning. Great to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
Are you going to sing Hamilton throughout the morning?
It's going to be stuck in my head, and it's going to be so hard not to sing it because I'm obsessed with that soundtrack.
It is such a popular musical. I mean, even people who have never seen the musical are obsessed with the soundtrack alone.
It's so fantastic. Please listen to the soundtrack.
Yeah, it is really great. All right, let's take a look at your forecast on this first day of October. It is hard to believe that we're already here.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you. Lower 70s. In fact, when I left my house this morning, my temperature gauge at the house, 48 degrees. So definitely a cool start for us. Our high yesterday, look at this, 71 degrees. We're going to be near that again today. And again, our normal is right near 86. So we're way down from where we should be this time of year. 49 degrees. Look at this. Bakersfield, you are chilly. Grab a jacket. You'll need it. No winds to talk about right now. There was just a light breeze as I rolled on in this morning. And as we take a look at the hour by hour, starting out in the upper 40s, 64 at noon. By 3 o'clock, we'll be right near 68. For the mountains, 39 degrees right now. We've got a light westerly wind at 8. And as we go throughout the day, we will see the winds pick up a little bit into the Kern County mountain location. So we'll be watching for that. And you can see temperatures will start out in the upper 30s and 40s. And then this afternoon, we will be looking at the 50s. And by 3 o'clock, a westerly wind at 13. We'll talk much more about your weather. That's coming up in just a little bit. But first, let's send it over to Alex with a check of traffic.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. And taking you outside for a look at your morning commute at the 99 near 7th Standard. And it's looking pretty good on that side of town. We have one crash being reported on East White Lane at South Union Avenue. Doesn't look like it's going to be too much of an issue for you. It's just a traffic crash that they're towing away. They're towing away those cars right now. So if you're headed out there that direction within the next few minutes, you may run into maybe some slowing, but not too much of a problem. We'll have another check coming up in about 15 minutes. We want to bring you some breaking news this morning out of North Korea. A diplomat there says nuclear negotiations between the U.S. and Pyongyang are set to resume this week. The two sides are scheduled to meet briefly on Friday, but won't resume talks until Saturday. Nuclear negotiations have been at a standstill since February. That's when a summit between North Korea leader Kim Jong-un and President Trump in Vietnam broke down after the U.S. rejected North Korean demands for broad sanctions relief in exchange for partially surrendering its nuclear capabilities. No word yet on who will be participating in those upcoming talks.
It's a somber anniversary in Las Vegas and here in Kern County.
2 years ago today, thousands spent the day enjoying music and friends in the Las Vegas Route 91 Harvest Music Festival. They were unaware of the tragic events that were about to unfold. Later that night, shots rang out over the Jason Aldean concert in the shadow of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. The shooting became the deadliest in modern U.S. history. 58 people were killed. More than 800 others were hurt. Witnesses say the shooting rampage lasted between 10 and 15 minutes. 62-year-old Stephen Paddock opened fire from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. When police finally found his hotel room, Paddock was dead.
The massacre hit close to home. Hundreds from Kern County were at that concert in Las Vegas. Some returned home with physical wounds, many more traumatized emotionally by what happened. But 4 people who called Kern County home never made it back. 20-year-old Bailey Schweitzer of Bakersfield was the youngest person to die in the shooting. Jack Beaton was celebrating his anniversary with his wife when he was killed shielding her body. Shafter High graduate Victor Link, who had since moved to San Clemente, also died in the massacre. And 28-year-old Taft resident Kelsey Meadows, a well-known substitute teacher, was also killed. Flags will be flown at half-staff at the Nevada State Capitol and all state public buildings and grounds in remembrance of the lives lost.
And it has been less than a week since 17 News first broke the story about a state audit alleging senior officials at the Kern County Fair mismanaged hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money. Now the district attorney's office says it is launching an investigation looking into those allegations. Deputy District Attorney Joel Kinzel says the DA has a unit just for these types of cases, and he's vowing the DA's office will get to the bottom of this. 17's Tejon Wallace has more.
Kern County District Attorney's Office confirms to 17 News it has opened an official investigation into allegations Kern County Fair officials misused and mismanaged hundreds of thousands of your taxpayer dollars. The news comes less than a week after 17 News broke the story about this state audit accusing Fair senior officials of misappropriating more than $300,000 of state funds for purposes unrelated to Fair operations.
If there was wrongdoing, we want to find it out.
Joe Kinzel is a deputy district attorney.
We got the state auditor's report alleging gross mismanagement of one of the fair boards, and we've heard enough to think there's sufficient evidence that it may be the Kern County Fair that's involved.
He says the DA's Public Integrity Unit will first look into whether any laws were broken, and if so, District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer will determine whether to pursue a civil or criminal trial.
It could be either or. The district attorney is entitled to pursue civil cases on behalf of the people of California, and sometimes that is done to recoup money that has been taken wrongfully by public employees. And so that's one avenue. But if there are criminal crimes that are committed, of course, everyone knows the district attorney has the ability to prosecute crimes as well.
As for who could be investigated, Kinzel says that remains less clear.
Investigations aren't really about people, it's about events. And so we're investigating based upon what the auditor has produced. If those events occurred, we want to find out the evidence of that. And if those events did occur, who's responsible for them? And so it's about getting to the truth. We wanted to let people know that we are on it. We have a public integrity unit that's dedicated to getting to the bottom of this. And if there were wrongdoing, holding those people.
That was Tejon Wallace reporting. And we're also hearing from Senate Republican leader Shannon Grove.
I realize that they're state funds, and I realize that the auditor has done her due diligence, and when the audit report came out, they should be an audit review, and legislative action or action will be taken, and the legislature would determine what's appropriate.
We've been trying to get comment from the Fair Board every day since we broke this story. Each Fair Director and Fair CEO Mike Alcott did not return our calls, but we found this letter on the Fair's website dated 9 days before the state audit came out. In the letter, Alcott wrote, quote, "We have no knowledge of any fraud or suspected fraud that affects the entity and involves management or employees who have significant roles in internal control. We have no knowledge of any allegations of fraud or suspected fraud affecting the entity's financial statements. We have no knowledge of instances of noncompliance or suspected noncompliance with provisions of laws, regulations, contracts, or grant agreements." The state-run audit released last month could not have been more different. The auditor alleging the more than 300,000 taxpayer funds were mismanaged. We reached out to the Fair for comment, but did not hear back.
A Texas deputy made history as the first Sikh to wear a turban on patrol. Sadly, he lost his life last week during a traffic stop. Last night, Bakersfield came together to mourn that deputy. 17's Karen was at the Vigil and explains how his impact was felt here at home.
Deputy Sandeep Dhaliwal was shot during a traffic stop Friday in Harris County. His vigil last night in Bakersfield coincided with the one in Texas.
God bless America.
Deputy Dhaliwal said, we're all Americans. We're here as one.
1,600 miles away from Texas, Bakersfield mourned a member of the Sikh community, a brother in blue, killed in the line of duty.
That's what he fought for, which is to be accepted, and just, it doesn't matter your background, just I'm here to serve and protect.
Deputy Sandeep Dhaliwal was considered a trailblazer, the first Sikh to join the Harris County Sheriff's Department, the first to wear his turban on patrol.
Sikhism holds big value to turban, and they want to wear a turban and serve our great nation.
Dhaliwal was also a friend of Bakersfield's. 2 years ago, in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey, this group of local veterans worked with him and his Sikh community to distribute supplies. A standout memory?
He even asked everyone, like, regardless of what your religious beliefs are, if you guys don't mind if we can have a prayer in unity.
And that's exactly what our community did during his vigil.
Amen.
Dhaliwal's legacy lives on.
A walking lesson in tolerance and understanding.
Lighting the way for others to express their faith with pride.
With all the division in our country, unfortunately, it takes times like this. We know we do need to unite.
Certainly a tragic death that's united law enforcement communities and Sikh communities across America. I'm Karen Hua, 17 News.
As health officials desperately search for answers, more people continue to die from vaping-related illnesses. 14 people in several states, including California, have now died. Nebraska is the latest state to announce a death due to severe lung disease associated with vaping. Health officials say the person died in May, but vaping-associated lung illnesses were not tracked by public health agencies until August. Now that the problem is recognized, states are discovering cases that occurred before August. The CDC is investigating more than 800 cases of vaping-related illnesses nationwide.
It's one of Kern County's biggest fundraisers benefiting cancer patients and their families. Camp Out Against Cancer kicks off tonight. The 7th annual Camp Out Against Cancer happening at the Kaiser Sports Village in March. And it's the largest fundraiser for the nonprofit Kern County Cancer Fund. But tonight, those who are interested can come meet up for dinner at Tony's Pizza on Coffee Road. Teams and volunteers and cancer survivors will begin organizing for the big fundraising event. Tonight's kickoff starts at 5 o'clock. Today marks the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. According to the American Cancer Society, just this year, doctors have diagnosed some 268,000 cases in women in the U.S. alone. But progress in treatment and early detection has led to improved survival rates. The American Cancer Society says there are more than 3.5 million breast cancer survivors in the U.S. today. That's more than any other group of cancer survivors.
Welcome back. Businesses in downtown Bakersfield have some new and unique help to clean up their storefronts. Business owners say they are tired of seeing the streets being treated like dumpsters and even toilets. The problem has gotten so bad the city has hired a private company to remove human waste from downtown and Old Town Kern. The 90-day pilot program will cost $90,000. It'll be funded by the Public Safety and Vital Services tax measure.
There's a lot of them would rather use doorways as their toilet or use the trees that are downtown as their bathroom. That does create a problem. Not only is it unsanitary, there's a health hazard. There's 7 days in a week. I'm only here 3, so I probably see it about 6 times a week.
The pilot program launched yesterday, and by 10 a.m., crews had already received 15 calls for service. If you'd like to report feces and request the cleanup, call 319-0000.
522 now, Urbane Cafe wants to share the love with local teachers. Today and tomorrow, the restaurant is saying thank you to educators by treating them to a free sandwich or salad. The offer is valid at the Bakersfield Urbane Cafe location on Mount Vernon Avenue. Teachers have to reserve their spot via the Urbane Cafe Facebook page, then just show up and show their school or district ID.
And pain at the pump.
Still ahead in your 17 Business Watch, the reason gas prices are skyrocketing.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back to Hone Ranch. Is hiring and job seekers have the opportunity to gain employment at a job fair coming up in Lebec. The Tejon Ranch Commerce Center will have a job fair tomorrow. Some employers include major distributors, including Caterpillar and Dollar General, Plus, local businesses are hiring as well. The fair is happening from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Petro Shopping Center on Dennis McCarthy Drive. That's just off Interstate 5, across the highway from the outlets at Tejon. Auto parts chain Pep Boys is paying up. Yesterday, the company agreed to a settlement in an environmental lawsuit filed by district attorneys in 9 California counties, including Kern. The suit claimed Pep Boys illegally dumped motor oil and other hazardous waste for at least 3 years. Now the company will pay $3.7 million in fines. Pep Boys says it took immediate action after learning about the problems. The chain has about 150 locations in California. At least 5 of them are here in Bakersfield. If you've filled up your tank this week, you've probably noticed you're paying more at the pump. Industry experts say refineries in Northern and Southern California are experiencing technical issues that are forcing them to cut back on production. Californians say they could see their highest gas prices since 2014. Right now, AAA says the national average for a regular gallon of gas is $2.66. In California, it's $4.07, and in Kern County, the average is $3.95. And according to GasBuddy.com, the lowest price on gas in the Bakersfield area is $3.43. You can find it at the Shell on Ming Avenue in central Bakersfield. To look up gas prices in your neighborhood, you can head to our website, kget.com. Just click on the traffic section.